Hey guys, I'm so excited to talk to you guys today because I wanted to really talk about those of you who are spinning your wheels, okay? And those of you who are in this current place, you know what I'm talking about. So I run into a lot of designers who have been doing this or trying to do this for a long time. They'll take, one little course here, they'll learn one little technique here, they'll go on the internet and they'll watch all the Illustrator or the Photoshop videos. Anytime someone's offering a free workshop, they'll do it. They're just kind of like piecemealing all the things they're doing together. But really, for me, when I'm looking at a design business and I'm analyzing it, and it's a really actually very easy thing to do, especially if you're using my signature framework, which is not the design process, but like my signature framework for discovering the holes in your business, which I do talk about in my design boot camps. One of the things that is so interesting is that very often they will say they've done this and they did that for a few months or a year and it didn't work. And so they pivoted and they did this. And they did that for a few months or maybe even a few weeks or maybe even a whole year, and that didn't work. And then they did this other thing, and it kind of worked. Maybe it made just enough, but it wasn't exactly right, and it was difficult to produce, and the clients were a headache, and they stopped doing it after 3 months. So what there is there's a cycle there of doing the same thing over and over and over again, and thinking that there's like real pivots going on. And very often it's just a little bit of a shift. Like they go from making like posters to making cards to making invitations to making like SVG files, right? But because they've been not systematic about the way that they have been designing, they get very confused about why it's not working for them. And very often I run into designers who are like, I just don't know if I'm a great designer. There's some imposter syndrome. And a lot of that is due to not because the design work is good. Usually actually the design work is just fine. It might not be excellent, but it's usually fine enough. Like if I looked at it, I'd be like, this is sellable. You could sell this. It's mostly because they don't understand the last two pieces of the design process. And if you missed that, go back to the previous episode so you can learn a little bit about that. But more than that, they don't understand basic business principles in your design business. And that brings me to, you guys know I've been talking about it, my book, which is coming out at the end of this week and is currently on pre-sale. So if you want to order it, you can go to Amazon, just look up Carina Gardner, Design, Profit, and Prosper, and you can go check that out. It will be available and shipping starting March 12th, okay? So here's the deal with it, okay? Part of the reason I wrote the book is because I just kept seeing all of these designers like over and over and over again, trying to do the same, like trying to make a real pivot, trying to actually make money, but they're really just doing the same things over and over again. They're just maybe doing it in a different medium. They still didn't understand production and sales. It's like those things are so important. And to understand how to do them well, we really have to hone in on great strategies for making money. And most people don't understand that piece of it. It seems really scary. I talk in the book, it seems scary to designers because we don't want to do it. We're creatives. We want to do the creative piece. But if you are looking to create your own design business, okay? You really just want to own your own design business, because if you like the first two pieces of the model, you like ideation and you like implementation, you need to go work in-house at a company, corporate or otherwise, because then you can just do those two things, right? But if you want to own a design business, that means own your own wedding invitation business, own your own card making business, whatever it is, physical or digital, okay? Where you are the main designer. You have to understand the last two pieces of the model, but more than that, you have to be okay with making a real change. And that is the hardest piece of it, because what we know is what we've been doing over and over and over again. And so sometimes I'll tell a designer, this actually just recently happened, I'll tell a designer, you're still thinking like X, Y, and Z. I was like, you have to make a full-on shift because you are trading time for money. You have to make a full-on mindset shift. And I think she was really receptive to it. But it's like someone needs to take you, and this is my way of taking you. If you're not in my life right now and you are listening to this podcast, this is my way of taking you and saying, hey, just a little bit of a shake. You have to change so mean you have to lay down money to get more education. It might mean that you have to go back for an MBA. Heaven forbid. I didn't do that, but for some of you, it might be a great thing. Maybe it means that you go out of your way to figure out different techniques and different sales vehicles people are using. You might have to take a marketing class. I mean, there are so many ways that we make hard changes in our lives, right? To figure things out. Now, I even have this in my program. So like people will come in for business and stuff, but we'll still send them to other places and say, you probably also need this, right? I'm an expert in getting people sales in their design business, but we might say, you know what? Instagram might be better suited if you go take this course over here or go read that book. Oh my gosh, we have lots of book lists. Go read this book because it'll help you, okay? If you are spinning your wheels and just doing this over and over again, and you have not made the choice to make a very big change in your life, okay, which is what it requires, like a big change in your life, you will not make money. I feel like I should say that again because for some of you, you are not really listening to the words that I'm saying. And I really want you to hear this because it is so hard. If you are currently doing something and it's not working, it's not going to ever work, okay? And you're just going to keep spinning your wheels doing the same thing over and over and over again without any results, okay? Who is it that says insanity is, I'm not even going to attempt it. I feel like it's Albert Einstein. Go look up Albert Einstein and insanity, and you'll see what I'm trying to say. I want you to win. There's no good reason you can't win in the design space. But the thing you're probably missing is a little bit of education and a little bit of hands-on help from someone who wants to help you, which is why I wrote the book. So go check out the book. My hope is that it will help you. You'll start seeing models, start seeing what you need to do to make some changes in your life, okay? And continue to make changes. Because when we pivot and we pivot hard, there is money to be made. And if you really want this to be a lifestyle, you want it to be your business for life. And I know a lot of you are working on encore careers, right? Those of you who are past maybe children, maybe you're past your main career you were doing. We call it the encore career. It's the career you do because it's self-satisfying, it's fulfilling, it's incredibly fun and definitely super creative, especially in that implementation mode. It's just such a fun thing, but we still have to do some things that are not quite as fun because it is still a business. So we trade that flexibility, like because we want the flexibility, we want the time and we want the creativity. We're willing to do some of the hard work because we want all the fun work too. And that's the way I find life to be in general, you guys. Like, it's 50% bad, 50% good, right? There's just like that little bit of stuff that you're kind of like, I just really don't want to do it. But that's the stuff that's going to move your design business. And so we do have to do it. We have to do some of those hard things to push through, okay? All right, you guys, you can win at this. I can't wait to see you designing and making sales because that's the way it's supposed to be. That's how we're not hobbyists. We're doing this because it's an actual business, and I can't wait to see you later. Now, if you want the book, I'm going to remind you, it's on Amazon. It's called Design, Profit, and Prosper, and you can look up my name, and I think it'll show up under that as well, and it will be out March 12th. Okay, see you guys.
Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.